All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video here on the Spencer FC channel. Once again, I am joined by none other than Seb.
Good afternoon, everybody. Maybe good evening, good morning, wherever you might be.
Yeah, wherever you're watching, we're talking today about Gareth Bale, okay? Coming back to Spurs, back to the Premier League, but crucially back to Spurs, the club that he did so well for before. We actually watched him score a wonder goal against West Ham. One of the best goals I've seen scored live.
Yeah.
It got them a win against us in the last minute.
3-2.
I've seen him do plenty of other things. I've seen him score an overhead kick in the Champions League final in Kiev, of course, as you were there as well.
Yep.
So he's done a lot with Real Madrid. No doubt that move was ultimately a very successful one for him and for the club he went to. 4 Champions Leagues in the space of 5 years. Goals in big games. Some very big goals. Few injuries, sure, and not the ending that I'm sure he would have liked for at Real Madrid. Maybe not the ending he deserved.
No, I think I agree with that. I think you look at it on paper and you think, what a sensational move for all parties. You'd think Tottenham got a lot of money. Okay, maybe they didn't spend it that well. I saw someone tweet the other day, this is the 27th player Tottenham have signed trying to replace Gareth Bale with Gareth Bale, like quite brilliant. So Tottenham probably could have done better out of that. Real Madrid have won a lot of trophies. He's won a lot of trophies, but it doesn't feel right, does it? It doesn't feel like the atmosphere between the club and the player was ever that brilliant. There's a lot of theories as to why that might be, living in Ronaldo's shadow. I don't know, but ultimately, Real Madrid spent a lot of money on him and they're potentially leaving him now to Spurs on this sort of loan deal with an option to extend, paying some wages. Maybe not going to end that well financially for Real Madrid.
Well, that last contract, maybe not. But I think that the transfer was a huge transfer for them. It was about 80 million he went for, I think. One of the most expensive players of all time at the time when he did go. But you do have to look at it as we've seen players like Dembele go to Barcelona, Coutinho go to Barcelona, them trying to use that Neymar money, and they've deteriorated since they made those transfers. Real Madrid, at least, when they brought him in, he won them things.
True.
Along with other players, of course,
I agree.
Ronaldo, Ramos, massive part of that, many others, Modric, but another player they got from Spurs. But you look at Arsenal and the Ozil situation, which is very similar in the fact they've got this guy on a contract who's ultimately holding them ransom. What did Ozil bring to Arsenal? A couple of FA Cups? A couple of Champions League qualifications? Bale 100% did it at Real Madrid. Did he embrace the transfer? Did he learn the language the way he should have? Did he embrace the culture? Or did he just like living in a hot country where he could build his golf course and play his golf? Could he have done more to get the fans on side? Probably. But if I know anything about Real Madrid fans, it's that they will turn on you the minute you stop playing well, kind of regardless of what you've done in the past. They're very ruthless there. And that's one of the reasons they are deemed to be one of the best clubs of all time. They have high standards.
I think you're right. When you look back on it, the money spent and what they've got out of it, the book's balanced, right? No problem at all. I'm sure they won't mind spending many times over that if they could guarantee that many Champions League trophies. And would they have done it without him? Maybe. We'll never know. What will be interesting, Spen, is what Jose does with him. Where do you get the best out of Gareth Bale? Obviously, he's come from as a fullback from Southampton into the Tottenham side. He had that crazy stat where Tottenham couldn't win a game with him. Then goes up on the wing, ends up as a forward type player. Spurs play a bit of a flexible formation, don't they? Sometimes can play with Harry Kane on his own, sometimes with Son a little bit closer to him. They've now brought in Doherty and also Regulion, this new fullback. Yeah. Could they go to a wing-back situation? Could Gareth Bale go to a wing-back? I don't think so, but where does he play? It's
an interesting one. I mean, for me, with these 2 transfers, and it is the 2 guys from Real Madrid, both left-sided players, although Bale obviously can play on the right, inverted winger. For me, their attack looks very strong now. You look at their options, Kane, Bale, you've got Bergwijn, you've got Son, you've got Ali, you've got Lamela, you've got Lucas. Lots of options. I'm really not convinced by their defence, I'm not going to lie. I think they've got good right back and left back options. Centre backs, they lost for Tongan. Okay, they've got Tanganga coming through. They've got Dyer being used as centre back, but Alderweireld, Sanchez, those centre back options for me, they're not like the top tier of what their attack is. Again, centre mid, they've brought in the likes of Højbjerg from Southampton. Along the likes of Winks, Sissoko. I don't think that centre mid spot's still really convincing for me. And ever since they lost the likes of Luka Modric, they've not been the same. I would love to talk about where Bale's going to play, yes, but actually what he's going to do for them. So in terms of playing, he's going to play. Surely he's going to play every minute he can. And that could be as a wide attacking player. It could be as an out-and-out striker. They need an out-and-out striker, right? They need someone to either supplement Kane or to play when Kane inevitably does get injured, something that Bale does as well. And Bale's played up front for Wales before, so you could see him there. I think that won't be his first choice, but I think it's an option. When Kane's got injured in the past, they've had to play the likes of Lucas or Son up front, and they've not got that physicality that I would say Kane has, and to an extent Bale does as well. But I don't really worry about where he's going to play. He will play. And the front three, for me, the best front three is Son, Kane and Bale.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to have to let go of some people. There was talk about Dele Alli going back the other way. As we record this video, it looks like that's not going to happen, potentially.
They've definitely got options now. When you look at their depth at fullback, they've got Davies as a backup left back. Danny Rose is still there, but he's kind of been left out. Aurier is a backup. And now they've got depth up top as well. They've got a good side. That's what Mourinho's trying to bring in. But where will Bale push them to? Is this the move? I had them personally finishing 5th in my Premier League predictions. Where did you have them in yours?
I think I had them 5th or 6th. Definitely not top 4.
So does this push them into top 4?
I'll be honest, it probably doesn't. It does change things for me. However, we've got to be honest about one thing. Gareth Bale, in his peak, in his pomp, fantastic player. We've seen what he can do to people. He did it to us at West Ham. We've seen him do things for Real Madrid.
He did it against West Ham. He must be good.
Is he?
You could do it against West Ham.
Well, hang on a minute. Is he past his best, Ben? 31 years old, I believe. Hasn't played a lot of football for a couple of years now. He's played a lot of golf. I reckon he'd give me a good game at golf.
Is he not player scratch?
I think he's a similar handicap to me. I think he's maybe 5 or 6, a little bit higher than me.
That is a game I want to see.
Gareth.
Seb on Golf Channel.
Let's talk.
Seb versus Bale. West Ham versus Tottenham.
I'm ready.
Him in a Tottenham kit, you in a West Ham kit.
We could put some money on the line, Gareth.
The golf clubs wouldn't like that, would you, wearing those sorts of kits on the golf
I think
club?
we can make it happen for that. For Gazbaz, I think we can make it happen.
He's doing his garden.
We could do. So I think, has he got more to offer? Obviously. Is he going to bring a lot to Spurs? Yes. But are they signing someone? I mean, there's a reason why no one's been willing to come in and pay his wages for all these years.
Well, I think one of the reasons, this time last year, he was at a move to China that was essentially cancelled by Real Madrid because they decided they wanted him in their plans, and he was very annoyed by that, and that created that whole animosity which went throughout the year. We saw the whole, Wales Golf Madrid fiasco with the flag. We saw him not wanting to hold the pendant thing in the team photos.
Love that as well.
Yeah, he was not shy, was he? And then falling asleep in the stands or pretending to be asleep when he wasn't getting subbed on in the lockdown games. He's not been a shrinking violet with regards to his apathy towards Real Madrid of recent times, which I think is disrespectful as a club that's paying your wages. I think that disrespect that he showed was maybe warranted, but not publicly. I think there's a way he should have done things as a professional behind the closed doors. I think Real Madrid were harsh to him. I think the fans were harsh. I think they should have treated him better, particularly with cancelling the move that would have seen him leave and helped him play more football. Bale's clearly not in Zidane's plans, but I do think whilst Bale had all the right to do it, you do it in private. You maintain your credibility as a professional. I think those things, combined with his apparent lack of care about how much football he does play, has made him not look like the best option for a club that's going to have to spend a lot of money on wages. Tottenham have got themselves a pretty good deal here in the sense that
great deal.
They're covering some of his wages in a loan, but not all of them. It's a loan. They haven't got to do a massive cash outlay. If it doesn't work out, it's going to be a very popular transfer with the fans, isn't it?
It's making everyone involved in football in the UK talk about it. It's all people are chatting about now. One thing, whatever you like to say about Daniel Levy, he does great deals for Tottenham Hotspur. He really, really does.
In and out.
He's just sensational. You got to commend it. One thing, like we talked about some things with our West Ham video recently. We just don't know what's gone on. We don't know what's gone on between him and Zidane, although we're led to believe they've left on pretty good terms. We don't know what's gone on between him and the rest of the players at Real Madrid, the rest of the coaching staff at Real Madrid. We don't know any of these things. There's too many unknowns. Gareth might have very good reasons why he's acted like he's acted. He might not. We're never going to know. But the bottom line is Tottenham have got themselves a sensational world-class footballer for just the wages. And if we're led to believe with this option to extend it, which will take him through to the end of his Real Madrid move, when he could then leave on a free. If you're a Spurs fan right now, you're absolutely buzzing.
So you're buzzing, yes, and it's a very emotional transfer. It makes a lot of sense if he was going to go anywhere, go back to Tottenham. Interesting that Man United didn't go bigger for him with the Sancho move on the rocks. Whilst he's a different end of his career, he could have been a great guy to come in and really just reinforce their attacking options. Although maybe limiting game time for younger, more exciting options like likes of Greenwood would have suffered as a result of Bale coming in. So maybe that's part of their thinking.
Maybe read into that. Maybe the Sancho move is nearer to being done than we actually think right now, because that is Man United and Bale have been linked for quite a while now. A few different windows, there's been talk of that. He seems to be the perfect guy for Greenwood to come in under and sort of, let Bale play on that right-hand side and cut in, or him and Rashford interchange a little bit. I'm sure the conversation was had, but obviously didn't happen for a reason.
We'll obviously do a full transfer roundup when the window closes, but For me, if they don't go and get Sancho now, Man United, or someone high
Fans will be
profile,
fuming.
they've had a stinker because they could have definitely got Bale. They could have got Reguilon as well. They didn't go for him because Real Madrid wanted a buyback clause. Tottenham were prepared to give it. Man United weren't. That's what we're led to believe. But focusing on Spurs, you're saying Bale does not make them top 4.
I'm saying no, but simply because I believe that there's still too much ground between them, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City, especially looking at what happened with them on the opening day against Everton.
You don't think it takes them above United, squad-wise?
No, I don't. I think it's closer, but no, I think Man United, what they showed post-lockdown last year with Fernandes, Martial, Greenwood and Rashford, I think Man United maybe are one big injury away from being at risk there. But if they bring in Sancho, I think they've got that cover. Bringing in Van der Beek's going to help as well. No, I would say Man United's defence is stronger as well. Spurs looks a little bit ropey.
I'd argue both teams. I mean, that's something you can say for a lot of teams in Europe right now. But both Man United and Spurs still need a big centre back.
Yeah, I agree. I do. I do
so do
think
Chelsea.
you're right there.
So do Arsenal.
Yeah.
You know, so do potentially Man City. I mean, Man City have got
hard to come by these days, Ben. Very good centre backs. There's not as many of them around as there used to be.
I don't think people realise. I think that Ake deal was better than people think. You know, I don't think Ake is the best centre back in the world, but I think that for the money they got him for, when you consider that he's half the price of Van Dijk, you know, he will shore up things a lot. Now they've got Laporte. If Laporte's fit and Ake next to him, that's a good centre back partnership for the Premier League.
I agree.
And they've got other options, of course, in there. So yeah, listen, I think it's a big deal. Spurs. I think it shows good intent because with the stadium move, a lot of money. They've got, I think, the biggest debt of any club in the Premier League right now in terms of the loans they've got, the repayment loans they've got with that stadium, which is completely to be expected. Something that West Ham got away with our deal, but Tottenham have come out and shown the ambition, which I think is very good. They've still got Harry Kane. I mean, he's been barely linked with anyone in this window.
It's probably a key part of their discussion. When they think about the return on investment on Bale's wages, they won't just be thinking about on the pitch. They'll be thinking this helps us keep people like Harry Kane at the football club, keep people like Heung-min Son at the football club. Because let's be honest, those guys want to be winning trophies, competing at the highest level. And it may even been a part of the deal to bring Jose in the first place. There may have been assurances around certain players they go after. So I think it's probably a very, very good move. It's great for the Premier League. I'm excited. I can't wait to see where he lines up. Might even put him in my dream team. Who knows? I have to have a look at that.
Well, speaking of dream team, we don't know what value he's going to come in at. We're expecting it to be maybe between 10.5 and 11 million. But I want to ask you is, where do you, forgetting the points for a second, in terms of the player, what he is now, Gareth Bale now, not 5 years ago, what is he, where does he come in level-wise? You know, comparing him to a Rashford, a Mahrez, a Aubameyang, someone playing maybe wide of a front three. He's probably going to play on the right, so wide right of a front three. Salah being probably the best in the Prem at that right now.
Yep.
Where's Bale on that? What sort of player level? What sort of impact is he going to make?
So in dream team purposes,
in terms of like, you know, is he going to be as active this year in terms of goals and assists as a Riyad Mahrez? Do you think he's going to come in and give you the sort of numbers that Salah gives you?
No, I'm going to say no. And the
reason, the sort of numbers he was putting up when he went to Madrid, he's put up serious numbers.
But I think you've got to look at the team he's playing in. So Tottenham are not strong enough to give the freedom to their attacking unit to go ahead and just do what they want to do and beat teams 4-5-6-0, which you can still see Liverpool, Man City and possibly Man United, maybe even Chelsea when they get all those guys fit. Chelsea didn't look great in their first game, but they had Havertz playing out of position. They had no Ziyech. They've got a few other players to come in still to that side. I can see those teams really putting the sword to some of the whipping boys like your West Broms, your Fulhams, your West Hams maybe, whereas I still don't see Tottenham and a Mourinho unit going and putting up those massive scores. So therefore, I don't see Bale getting those huge numbers of goals and assists.
Will he get double figures goals this season?
I'd say I'd probably be happier saying yes than no, but not many over. Maybe let's go 10.
Double figures assists?
No.
Okay, so you think maybe more?
I think maybe somewhere between 8 and 12 in both.
Okay, interesting. I'm quite like the idea of Doherty as a right wing back or right back overlapping Bale, who's going to cut inside. Same as Trent and Salah. Could be a nice connection there.
Dangerous.
He's got a, obviously Welsh connection there with Ben Davies as well. So there's a nice synergy there in the team. And he knows the other lad, Reguilon from Real Madrid, although he's actually been at Sevilla, but he has got a history at Real Madrid. So whether he speaks Spanish or not, we don't know. We think he does speak a little bit of Spanish, Gareth Bale, but it's kind of this not myth, but this story that he didn't try and learn Spanish that made it more accepting, as why Madrid fans didn't welcome him. I think he actually did learn a little bit, but he doesn't speak it, but he understands it, is what I understand. I've done a few things with Gareth Bale, and I've seen him replying to... I did a thing recently where he was playing FIFA against Dybala. Dybala was speaking in Spanish to his people, and Gareth Bale was replying to him. So he knew what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit unfair saying he didn't learn Spanish. He clearly tried to learn. It's hard to learn a new language, and he didn't need to learn it completely because most dressing rooms in European football, the main language is English between players. But yeah, got a bit of stick for that. So final question for you, Seb. Will Spurs win a trophy this season?
Well, this is the Jose Mourinho question, isn't it? Does it in his first year everywhere. If we're calling this his first full year, it'd have to be this year. They nearly got knocked out of the Europa League already early on. They had to rely on red cards and Harry Kane to bail them out. I think Europa League or the League Cup would be their best chances.
FA Cup, maybe?
Maybe. You know what? I'm going to say yes. And the reason I'm going to say yes is I still think there's a bit of sparkle in Jose Mourinho.
It's because of the documentary.
It is because of the documentary. But the reason I'm going to say yes, because if I say no and they do it, I'll hate it. But if I say yes and they do it, at least I'll be like, told you. So we'll go with that.
Fine. I kind of agree with you on the goals, assists thing. I think Bale could hit around 10. Yeah. I don't think he's going to hit 20 or anything like that.
I think so.
And I think assists will be decent as well. But he's not going to be Kevin De Bruyne. That's just the fact. He hasn't been that way for a while. And even if he had been, he hasn't been getting the game time. He's going to take a while to get going. In terms of the Cup, whilst I think they're going to have their best chance of winning a Cup in a long time with Jose there and with these new signings, I think the other teams are so strong as well.
So many good teams.
Everyone's getting good players. So I'm actually going to tip Spurs for another trophy this year. Their best chance of winning a trophy is through #Tom Spurs fan. He's won the EPL. See what else he can win. But that's it for this video. Overall, we're both really happy to see Gareth Bale come back to the Premier League. I think it's great for the Prem. Seb wants a game of golf. Seb on golf. I know Gareth Bale's a long-term subscriber.
You know what? He's weird. When I go to some of these football events and footballers come over and say, I watch your golf stuff, it's really, really bizarre. A lot of them do play football. Like Declan Rice DMing me at the moment for a game.
Yeah, footballers love golf.
Declan, stay around, mate. We can play before you go to...
You still play with him if you left.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's it for this video, though. That's our thoughts on Gareth Bale to Spurs. What do you think? Are we wrong? Are they going to win trophy? Are they going to win everything? Is he going to get him in the top 4, the top 3, the top 2, the top 1? If you think that, then you're a bit mental. But I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. Subscribe for more. Check out Seb's channel, Seb on Golf. Video with Gareth Bale coming very soon. Don't go to sleep. No, it's that video may not come.
Gareth, let's play.
You never know. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you on another one soon. Let us know in the comments what else you want to see us talk about as well, of course. Until next time, don't go changing.